Welcome back to Vintage Super League. We're David Williams, joined with my master Stephen Menendian. That was cool. Tell me what made you bring that?
Well, first of all, it's awesome to do some commentary with you, Dave. You know, we played in so many seasons of this, but I don't remember us ever actually doing commentary together. This might be our.
We did a couple times season one.
Season one, way back in the day.
So 5 years ago, or how many ever years it's been going?
Pleasure to be here with you. I wanted to play something that would be fun for people to watch, entertaining. And I mean, what's more entertaining than playing Emrakul, right? So. Yeah,
Emrakul's. The only thing better than playing Emrakul is playing any form of Nicobolas, is what me and Efro decided yesterday when I was playing Nicobolas in Standard. I said, man, there's nothing more fun than Bolas. Close as any Emrakul. Emrakuls and Boluses is all you want to do in Magic.
Yeah, that's the pinnacle of the Magic experience. So I thought I might as well bring it, you know. And my secret wish for this evening was to actually cast Flash, which I got to do. So, but I was having massive misclick problems. So for people who are wondering what was going on, there was at least 3 times where I was pressing F2 and it took me through my entire turn.
Yeah, but it seemed like the times it happened, it was, to me, from what I noticed, game 3, it didn't matter. I was dead anyways. And game 2, I think even if you didn't skip that last turn, I had 2 Wastelands up. Anything you do, I think, you know, I just Wasteland both.
My head, I mean, that, to be honest, I was a little relieved to have misclicked because I just wanted to get that game over with. It was too much of a head scratcher. I mean, you couldn't really tell what was going on, but my hand had Show and Tell and Gristlebrand and Omniscience, and I had 4 lands, so I could have just played fetch, and I had Time Walk. So it was one of those, and I also had Monastery Mentor, which I don't think I really was careful.
No, I had no idea you had Mentor, which is why I kept my hand game 3, because it was a little slow, but I felt like I'm on the draw with some strip mines, and like you're probably going to try to develop and draw some cards. You know, I figured I would have time. I didn't know there'd be a turn on Mentor.
Right, I know. So it's like, so that's why I was carefully concealing it. But the thing that was tricky was like every card I discard feeds the Deathrite Shaman. So I'm like, I have to think about, what do I discard here? What's my plan? What's my backup plan? You know, how do I use my mana? And I was like, honestly, when I misclicked, I'm like, thank God. I had Time Walk too. But what my initial plan was, let me just get to 3 mana and play Mentor, even though I was holding turn 1 Ancestral that I couldn't play because of your Thorn. And I thought maybe if I can get a Mentor down, I can survive, because all you had was 2 Deathrite Shamans with nothing in the graveyard and a Gaddock Teeg, you know? So I was like, this Mentor might resolve. So that was actually my plan when I misclicked. I was 1 land away from being able to cast Mentor, but I played both the lands and then you waste me again. So, you know.
Yeah, I actually drew out 3 Wastelands that game, but it was cool that you never discarded a Mentor. I mean, obviously there's only 1, so I don't know if I play around it anyway. Game 3, I don't know if I'm going to make a different decision just because he might have the 1 Mentor, but I at least did think, well, there's nothing he can do really early except maybe like a Flash or something, but I've got 2 strips. And he's got 1 basic land in his deck. I found out from game 2, strip and wasteland. If you get the island turn 1, I can strip it, and then I can wasteland your future lands. And you know, who knows how long it takes you to develop? I might be able to draw into my hand. Whereas, you know, all I needed was a colored land source, and I can develop the rest of my hand. But Mentor, we see why it's the first
yeah, I know.
in a very long time. It's pretty damn good.
Yeah, it's like and so I run all those things, and so it's fun because anyway, it's fun because people can attack me from one angle, and you got another way to attack. You know, it's like you shut me down with Rest in Peace, and I can come at you with Show and Tell or Mentor.
Yeah, but pretty cool. I was impressed.
Thanks, man. So talk about your deck, your Hate Bear deck.
It's funny because the way we do our scheduling and our deck list, you know, we turn them in at the start of each grouping. So I've kind of at a disadvantage of being the 3rd group for the surprise factor, because Efro ended up on the same deck, which is totally independent. And it happened to be in the first grouping of 3. I ended up playing the bug kind of fish deck with Runamap Excavators, or you know, and it turns out everybody played that deck when Leovold's in the first grouping. There was like 3 out of 4. Whereas had I been first, you know, we pick our decks before we know when we're going to play. I know. So actually, Matt Sperling is, you know, one of my best friends. He's been brewing so much in Vintage, and he came up with the Abs and Humans deck, and we were talking about it, and he was just crushing with it. And it seemed like something fun that you hadn't, you know, no one had seen anything like at the time when I submitted the deck list. Turns out he 5-0'd a league. He got second in a challenge.
Yeah.
Efro saw his list also. Efro played it, so there's not much surprise this week with me playing it. It wasn't that spicy, but it did feel like something that could compete and still, have fun and be fair, and could go along with the theme of me trying to play creatures with all three of my decks this
that's true.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm proving to you here that creatures aren't really where you want to be at in Vintage unless they're artifact creatures, because they don't really stand up to powerful spells like Ancestral Recall and Time Walk and better creatures like Mentor. So, hey, I tried. Who knows? We'll see what Bob and Aaron are playing here in this next match, and maybe I'll have a decent matchup. But if I don't, I had fun. This was the Brewers version of VSL, so I wanted to play some fun decks and not just sit here and play Mentor every season like one of our previous champions.
Right.
Just Mentor or Oath every season like Shuhei. But anyway, we've got their players ready, so let's get down and see what they got.
I'm excited.
Speed Demon. I don't know what the heck Speed Demon is. It looks like an Oath deck to me with a cute name, but Aaron's on Speed Demon and Bob's is on Workshop Depth. So this is like the same deck that Paul played last week.
Speaking of independently choosing decks, right? I mean, I assume Bob and Paul didn't coordinate this. They probably just picked up the same thing. My guess is that Aaron's playing the Demon Oath. You remember that? The Runescarred Demon.
The Tutor Demon?
Yeah. My guess. You don't really see that as much since Gristlebrand has seen print, but it does have a lot of advantages. I mean, you can, immediately find Time Walk or the Vault part of the Vault Key combo. Whoa, there's a good start.
Yeah, not much beats. He's got first turn Leyline in case you're on graveyard-based strategies, and a first turn Lodestone in case you're on spells and life total strategies.
He's got the whole format covered.
He's got it all under control. So Aaron's gonna need either a Mox, Lotus, or another land, but I don't know if she'll have time to. I guess she will if it's in the next 2 turns, but then she has to wait another turn for the Oath to trigger. So it would trigger at 5. I believe.
And sure enough, Aaron has drawn one of her demons. So she's on the Runescarred Demon plan. But yeah, I mean, super frustrating for Aaron. I mean, Aaron has turn 1 Ancestral, turn 2 Oath. Both of those are put off a turn, by this plan.
Who knew the die roll is important?
Yeah. Unfortunately, Bob is in the same situation Paul was all too frequently in, right? Where he had like an explosive great start and then just like drew awkward combo pieces and mana. So he still got the initiative, but it's not going to last very long, right?
Yeah, she's going to be able to play a second land and Ancestral. He'll be able to attack for 6 because of the token from the Forbidden Orchard, which would put her at 8.
He needs a waste plan right now.
And if she hits a land to play the Oath, he gets another token, and he can attack her to 1. So she'll be at 1, and then she'll Oath up a Runescarred Demon, but she'll be at 1, facing down 2 tokens and a Lodestone Golem. So I don't know. Again, interesting to Preordain instead of Ancestral here too.
Yeah, I always, if there's 2 options, Preordain or Ancestral, I always play Ancestral instead. But hey,
Yeah, I mean, you want to find a land and you get to see more cards. I mean, I guess.
Well, but Ancestral and Preordain can see the same number of cards.
No,
but anyway.
No, that's what I'm saying. You want to play Ancestral. You get to see more cards. You get to actually see the 3, whereas you don't get to see all 3. You see 2 and then decide, And
also the math that you just went through had Aaron at 1 at the end of the sequence, and that additional token might end up making a big difference here.
Well, it's going to be, it's going to be the same token here. Actually, with the fetch land, okay, she drew a land. With the fetch land, it wouldn't work, right? Because she would go to 7, but give him an extra token, and he would kill her. So by drawing a non-fetch land here was huge. But
she played the fetch land, because if she plays the Orchard and casts Oath.
Oh yeah, I thought it was the island. Yeah. So, but the Urborg.
Well, there you go. Take advantage of the old Urborg.
Wow, without the Urborg, she's actually just dead.
Well, if Aaron has all Speed Demons, let's see what actually happens here. But so If she could oath up Gristlebrand, it would be a different situation.
Right, I was say that depends on if she has a Gristlebrand or even an Inferno Titan in her deck.
The speed demon list, from what I recall, were just 3 Runescar demons.
Because 3 Runescar demons ain't gonna cut it if that's all. So it looks like Bob is copying something with Thespian Stage.
Orchard. I would. Oh! Oh! Bravo! Who really cared about these creatures? That was all set up, right, Dave?
Yep. So without having, so the way Helm of Obedience works, for those of you that don't know, it says whenever the card goes to the graveyard, right, it keeps going. But since you have a Leyline in play, it never does, so it keeps going, even if it's at 1, and then it exiles the entire deck.
Wow. So exile your deck, leave you at 1, almost a perfect victory.
Well, you might as well get the attack in if she didn't concede.
If I was Bob, I'd be checking out that those exile cards real quick. See exactly what's in there.
It depends on if we have competitive Bob or over it Bob. If it's competitive Bob, he's got a snapshot of that graveyard already, or that exile pile. If it's over it Bob, he doesn't even actually care, and he's just ready to get this done. So we'll see. So we go to the sideboard. Now, she's bringing in Abrupt Case. Doesn't deal with she's taking them back out. Doesn't deal with the things we saw, Helm, Leyline, Golem. But, you have to imagine there are cheaper lock pieces in Bob's deck. I'm sure she's familiar with it. I don't know the list off the top of my head, but, oh, there he is. He's looking at the exile pile now. But she doesn't have a lot of artifact kill in her sideboard. Right? There's Mindbreak Trap.
Well, she did bring in a trio of Energy Flux, which is pretty sweet.
Oh, she was faster than my eyes. I didn't see it come in. I was looking at the sideboard, but she already brought them in. So the Energy Fluxes are in, which are huge. But Bob's deck, unlike a traditional deck like a Shop's Ravager deck where it has tons of small creatures that you can't really afford to pay for, Bob is totally fine just paying for a Lodestone or paying for a Helm of Obedience until he draws the other half of the combo, or developing slowly with actual lands to make a Thespian Stage Dark Depths Merit Lage token. So he's actually still got game against an Energy Flux. He's not just cold.
No, he's definitely. It's not like he's running the the Ravager decks that we've been seeing a lot lately that spread the board pretty fast. This is much more of a I have different angles of attack. I have a lot of mana. So he's definitely not going to be cold to one of those Energy Flux, but it can still do some damage. It can still inflict some pain.
He brought in Trinosphere.
Urborg certainly helps when you need to pay for Energy Flux. That's for sure.
Yeah, it does indeed. Although, as we saw there, it helped Aaron. It's kind of cool. It's kind of cool how Forbidden Orchard, the added token ability, is not tied to the mana ability. Like, it says whenever it's tapped for mana, right? So even if you use it for black from an Urborg, you still give them a token. Is that I think that's correct. I can't see the card, but I think that's how my mom.
No, I think it's a completely different mode. I think you can just tap it like a swamp. Yeah.
Can you? Then why did he get a token on that last turn? Not that it mattered.
He did? Yeah. Okay, I might be mistaken. No, it might just be how it might just be how Orchard overlays. But for example, we know that you can tap. Yeah, you're probably right. That's probably just how Orchard works with it.
Because like City of Brass, right? Like no matter what, you take the damage. It's not tied to the mana ability. So I'm sure it's the same thing. I think. I'm not sure. It is an older card, so it is likely that it is. Oh, she tapped it for green anyways. Man. But it does happen whenever you tap for mana, so.
Okay. Good to note. We'll see if she picks up on that. By the way, those Caracases don't do anything against the Runescar demon like they do against Gristlebrand.
Yeah, it's not a legend, so she is a little, resilient to that. But not having the lifelink of Gristlebrand is huge. Yeah, so Forbidden Orchard has a line of text in addition to tapping the mana. It just says whenever you tap it for mana, target opponent creates a 1/1. So it doesn't actually matter.
By the way, how funny is it Aaron's only mana is 2 Moxen with Energy Flux. That one's going back. And she also kept the mental missteps, which seem pretty bad against this.
I mean, he does have Voltaic Key, right? Because he has Time Vault Key.
Oh, God. That is such a good hand if she just had 1 mana. Going to 5. Going to 5. There's no stable mana. Would you keep that, Dave?
Oh, man. Oh, man. That's a rough hand for 5. I mean, you do have mana, but you have spells you can't cast. You have Misstep, which is just dead. Yeah, I think you got a mulligan.
Gone to 4. That is harsh. That's rough. That's rough. I mean, if you're in Bob's position, if I had an even halfway mediocre hand, I'd be like, maybe I could just throw this back. It looks like he went to 6, and he capped. I can't see all his hand, but it looks like there's a Dark Depths and an Urborg.
Dark Depths, Urborg, Wasteland, Spyglass, Sphere of Resistance, Ruby. So he's got first turn Sphere if he wants to, or first turn Spyglass.
What is going on here? What's going on with? Is Aaron started the game? Okay. I don't know what's going on. It looked to me like maybe Aaron played a Mox. Aaron's just, well, she's a speed demon. It looks like she's off to the races, and we haven't even started the match yet. It looks to me like, yeah, it looks like Aaron, just for viewers, it looks to me like Aaron played land, preordain, and then bottomed into Mox. But our producer's going to try and get them to stop while we catch up.
Yeah, and Bob's hand, I don't know, he can first turn Sphere or he can Spyglass. I think I go ahead with his hand with mana. I go ahead and Sphere.
What's cool about the Spyglass, though, is if you see the Mox, then you can just, because it reveals the hand, you can just hit it on immediately,
Yeah, but she's likely going to play it because she's on the play. So she was probably playing her Mox. So Sphere, I mean, I'd rather Sphere and then follow up maybe Spyglass the next turn.
Yeah.
Because you can prevent her. I mean, that's unlikely she's going to chain spells.
No, I agree.
4.
Hi, Lily. We've got another VSL viewer back here. No, it's. I agree with you. It's just, there are definitely. It's not like the Revoker play, right, where you're completely blind, which is the nice thing about Spyglass. It looks like Bob sideboarded out at least a couple of the Spyglasses. I don't know how many he runs main deck, but. So the funny thing here is I don't know exactly what's happening, but I'm sure Aaron would much prefer to have to. Let's just restart this game. Let's just. Okay.
No, here we go. Speaking of, they're deep in the game. So we have. He did deploy the first turn Sphere, and he's got a Wasteland, so he can after follow. He can strip that land if she doesn't play anything, which it looks like she's unable to. She can play Abrupt Decay, but it costs 3, so she's 1 short.
And I don't know if Bob has actually been thinking about Abrupt Decay in this scenario, Brutal.
Bob's going to play Wasteland, he's going to play a land and pass.
Yeah, this gives him next turn Urborg, Sorcerer, Spyglass, and the good old start removing a token at a time. 10 turn clock, right? How much mana does it cost to remove a token from the Dark Depths? Is it 3?
I believe it's 3 because I think it's 30 mana total. You pay 30 mana for that.
For the Cthulhu.
Yeah, for your Merit Lage, which was the first and only foil token for a while. And it made me mad because I love foil tokens, but I never played during that. I never made a Merit Lage, and I wanted foil tokens, and they finally made some foil zombies.
That's a good Magic trivia question.
That I got to play at the Pro Tour Pro Tour Amonkhet, I believe, or whatever Pro Tour that was. Pro Tour Hour of Devastation.
Well, he has drawn 2 copies of the Dark Depths combo. What is that, Phyrexian?
So now you can revoke the Mox Jet.
What a nice guy.
Put their back down 1 mana with the Sphere out.
He's got a clock now.
So Revoker says non-land card. Spyglass is like Pithing Needle, where it says anything that's just not a mana ability. So he can't actually stop the Mox Emeralds because they're mana abilities, but he can with Revokers.
Right.
Twitter, wish there was just like one base template of those. Like the fact that there's like one does one, but one does the other. It's just, come on, guys.
Yeah, he he really needs Aaron's deck list now so that he can decide which fetch land to name, right? I mean, that's basically.
He saw her deck list last game. She allowed him to
I wonder
her entire library.
I wonder if he paid attention to her fetch land configuration. Well, Inventor's Fair is going to find something great. All he needs here is the Mirage Mirror, right? And the mirror can copy Dark Depths and then just win the game?
I believe so.
Looks like he has a path to victory. This has been sweet so far. I mean, we've seen an Mrakel win the game, a Mentor win the game, and now we've seen a
Helm of Obedience win the game, and now we're going to see a Merit Lage win the game.
This Brewers thing is working out pretty well.
Yeah, so if he has a key, he can get a key, he can get a mirror and just copy Time Volt.
That too.
Take every turn, attack for 2. So we may not see a Merit Lage, we may see a Revoker win the game.
Yeah, I imagine the key will just provoke a concession, right? That's probably the shortest chronological route to victory.
Well, you would have imagined a Helm with a Leyline in play would have invoked a concession, but we didn't get one there.
True.
We didn't get one here when a guy had Omniscience and Gristlebrand or Omniscience and Bargain in play. So I think the theme of the night is just hit F6 and let your opponent goldfish.
He's thinking about it. He's thinking, get the Mirage Mirror, get the key. He could get Crucible and recur it.
I wonder what he's thinking about. I mean, she's got 1 mana available with a Sphere in play, so she really can't do anything.
All right, he wants to go the splashy route. I don't blame him.
Mirage Mirror. It costs 4.
I think I probably would have got the key, though.
I don't think he has a key, maybe. I mean, there's kind of no reason if you have a mirror.
Oh, of course, yeah. I thought you, yeah.
And then technically she could misstep a key, right, with a Sphere and an Emerald out.
True. So if he doesn't have any 1-costers except for Soul Ring, then misstep is really bad.
Yeah. I mean, probably just an oversight. I've done the same thing before by accident. Just totally not thought about it. You don't see it sitting over there with your blue cards and all your cantrips. So he's
going to take time. He's going to take turns. One of the most broken cards of all time.
Yeah, I loved when Time Bolt was in the powered cube, the holiday cube. That was so fun. It was just literally keep playing cubes until you open a Time Bolt and do everything you can to find it and use it. And there were so many cool ways things you could do with it to untap it too.
Yeah, in old school, the twiddle is one of the things you can do. What are the ways in the cube besides key and Tezzeret?
There was Tezzeret, there was key, there was God, I can't even remember. It was so long ago since they took that out. There was what else? The chattel. The chattel fill us in. They know, but hopefully here's not conceding.
Nope. Oh, there we go. Okay, Aaron's seen enough. Wow.
Man, tonight's going fast. We've only it's been. I guess we started at 5. It's been an hour and a half, and we've had 2 matches.
And now the deck lists are published for consumption. So Randy will have the link in the chat soon if he hasn't already.
And let me pull up the schedule here and see who we have next. So next you're going to have, you get to play Aaron, and it's going to be me and Bob on the camera. And then I play Bob in match 4. So what do you think about your matchup coming up against Speed Demon Oath? You there, Steve? Hello?
Yeah, I think Aaron's going to be looking for a win after that. So I'm probably going to get the brunt of it.
How do you think the matchup is? I'm sorry, you cut out when I asked the question originally, so we didn't hear you.
Well, it's 2 similar decks in the sense that both of us are trying to get big creatures into play. So it's probably a race. The one advantage the Oath deck has is that I really can't use Show and Tell very effectively, right? So because I could just put one of the demons and play on her side. So she probably has a bit of an advantage, but I've got some tech, so we'll see how it goes.
It's not that bad, right? If you're casting Show and Tell and she puts a demon in play to get us like a Force of Will, you're probably getting an Omniscience, and then if you get an Omniscience or a Gristlebrand, she can have all the Force of Will she wants.
True. I'm hoping that's how it plays out.
All right, man. Well, good luck. We're going to take a quick break, and get you and Aaron down there, and me and Bob will be right back to talk about the match.
Looking forward to it.
Need the latest Magic the Gathering singles for Constructed? Casual